Good day, my name is Christian J. Paradero and my group members are Alleah Maralit, Christa Hernandez, Angelo Plegaria, and Lester Macatangay. The topic I'm going to discuss is Lesson 5, Corazon Aquino's speech before the joint session of the U.S. Congress. But before we proceed to Corazon's speech, let us first mention why she delivered that speech. Corazon Cory Cuanco Aquino became the symbol of democracy's restoration and the overthrow of the Marcos dictatorship in 1986, proclaiming her as the mother of Asian democracy. The key figures in that revolution are herself, her husband, and Ninoy Aquino and Ferdinand Marcos. On September 18, 1986, 7 months after becoming president, Cory traveled to the United States and addressed a joint session of Congress. Cory spoke to the United States on her presidency and the issue that the new republic faces. That's all for me, and now let's move on to Lester Macatangay's report on the People Power Revolution of 1986. Thank you.
People Power Revolution of 1986. The People Power Revolution was widely recognized around the world for its peaceful character. It was a revolution to end the dictatorship of President Ferdinand E. Marcos and begin a new era marked by freedom and democracy. Bali po, ang People Power Revolution ay may malawak na kinilala sa buong mundo para po sa mapayapang katangian nito. Ito ay isang revolusyon para wakasan ang diktadura ni Pangulong Ferdinand E. Marcos. Sinimulan ang isang bagong panahon na minarkahan ng kalayaan at demokrasya po. Yun na.
Achieves of women's political communication Corazon Aquino speech before the joint session of United States Congress, September 18, 1986, Washington, D.C. Years ago, I left America and lived to bear my husband, Ninoy Aquino. I thought I had left it also to lay rest in restless dreams of Philippines freedom. Today I have returned as the president of free people. In bearing Ninoy a whole nation honored, he made a brave and selfless act of giving honor to a nation in shame recovered its own, a country that had lost faith, its future founded space, faithless and brazen act of murder. So in giving we received, in losing we find, and out of defeat we snatch our victory. For the nation, Ninoy became the pleasing sacrifice that answered the prayers for freedom. For myself and our children, Ninoy was a loving husband and father. Is lost 3 times in our lives as well as deep and painful one. 14 years ago, this month was the first time we lost him, a president turned dictator and traitor to his hope, suspended the Constitution and shut down the Congress that was much like this one before, which I'm honored to speak. He detained my husband along with 1,000 of others. The dictator already knew that Ninoy was not a body merely to be in prison, but a spirit he must break. For even as the dictatorship demolished one by one the institution of democracy, the press, the Congress, the independence of judiciary and protection of the Bill of Rights, Ninoy kept their spirit alive in himself. The government sought to make him against their him in a tiny, nearly airless cell in a military camp in the north. They stripped him naked and held a threat of a sudden midnight execution over his head. Ninoy held up manfully under all of it. I barely did it as well. For 43 days, the authorities would not tell me what had happened to him. This is for the first time my children I felt we had lost him. When that did work, they put him on a trial for subversion, murder, and host of other crimes before a military commission. Ninoy challenged its authority and went on past. For nothing would hold him back from his determination to see his thought the end. He stopped only when it dawned on him that the government kept his body alive after the past and destroyed his brain. And so with barely any life in his body, he called off the past on the 40th day. God met him for other things. He did not know that an early death would still be his fate, that only the timing was wrong. At any time during his long ordeal, Ninoy could have made a separate peace with the dictatorship as so many of his countrymen had done. And then we lost him irrevocably and more painfully than in the past. The news came to us in Boston. It had to be after the 3 happiest years of our lives together. But his death was my country's resurrection and the courage and faith by which alone they could be free again. The dictator had called him a nobody, yet 2 million people threw aside their passivity and fear and escorted him to his grave. And so began the revolution that has brought the me to democracy's most famous home. The task had fallen on my shoulders to continue offering the democratic alternative to our people. Archibald MacLeish had said, what democracy must be defended by arms when it is attacked by arms, and when attacked by lies. He failed to say how it should be won. I had passed to Ninoy's convictions that it must be by the ways of democracy. I had the participation in the 1984 election. The dictatorship called even if I knew it would be reached. I was warned by the lawyers of the opposition that I ran grave risk of legitimizing the foregone results of election that were clearly going to fraudulent. I had implicit faith by the exercise of democracy. Even in a dictatorship, they would be prepared for democracy when it came. It was only way by which we could measure our power, even in the terms dedicated by the dictatorship. The people vindicated me in an election simply marked by government thuggery and fraud.
Introduction. Political cartoons and caricatures are a rather recent art form which veered away from the classical art by exaggerating human features and poking fun at its subject. Such art genre and techniques became a part of the print media as a form of social and political commentary, which usually targets persons of power and authority. Alfred McCoy, born on June 8, 1945, is a professor of history at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. He has spent the past 30 years writing about Southeast Asian history and politics. His publications include Philippine cartoons. And this is Alfred McCoy. Philippine cartoons. In his book Philippine Cartoons, Alfred McCoy, together with Alfredo Roses, compiled political cartoons published in newspaper, dailies, and periodicals in the aforementioned time period. The Independent. The first selected cartoon was published by The Independent on May 20, 1916. The cartoon shows a politician from Tondo named Dr. Santos passing his crown to his brother-in-law, Dr. Barcelona. And this is the picture. The second cartoon was also published by the Independent on June 16, 1970. This was drawn by Fernando Marsolo and was aimed as a commentary to the workings of Manila police at that period. And this is the picture. The next cartoon was published by The Independent on November 27, 1915. Here we see the caricature of Uncle Sam riding a chariot pulled by Filipinos wearing school uniforms. And this is the picture po.
The third cartoon was a commentary on the unprecedented cases of color-room automobiles in the city streets. The Philippine Free Press published this commentary when fatal accidents involving color-room vehicles and taxis occurred too often already. The fourth cartoon depicts a cinema. A blown-up police officer was on the screen saying that couples are not allowed to knit and make love in the theater. The last cartoon was published by Lipang Calabao on 24 August 1907. In the picture, we can see Uncle Sam rationing courage to the politicians and members of the Progresista Party, sometimes known as the Federalista Party, while the members of the Nacionalista Party look on and wait for their turn.